Good evening, everyone. At this time, I'll call to order the regularly scheduled board meeting for the Village of Midlothian, Wednesday, June 14th, 2023, at 7 p.m. Roll call, please, Clerk Moscow.
Trustee Burbett?
Here.
Trustee Caveney?
Here.
Trustee Crowley?
Here.
Trustee Hilly? Trustee Johnson?
Here.
Trustee Killily?
Here.
Mayor LaRue?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence for our fallen veterans. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, I will open the floor to public comment. Is there any public comment tonight? Jean.
Okay, I know that Pulaski is a county road, but when I was sitting on my porch this past weekend, playing around with my flowers and that, and I was watching the traffic go by, and very few cars are actually going 40 miles an hour. It seems like when they hit the tracks, they gun it. I actually saw the light was red on 152nd Street, and I saw a guy go around the cars that were stopped in front of them, did a Hollywood stop, and just kept flying. I mean, someone's gonna get hurt. And I heard from friends that live on 147th Street, they're having the same issue. Someone's gonna get hurt. And, I'm backing out into this traffic every day, and it's northbound and southbound. And this was my dad's fight, and I always said I wasn't gonna take up my dad's fight with the traffic on Pulaski. But if I need to, I will start, if they want, they can park in my driveway and do, speed things. I don't have a problem with that, but it was bad.
I see a squad quite often in the front Bremen half circle, semicircle, and I also see him quite often at the old 7-Eleven. So I don't, Deputy Chief, you have anything? Oh, sorry.
I'd actually like to, and we are also, Jean, we are looking for people to join our committee where we are going to come up with a plan through CMAP to address speeding and problems on our streets. And as of right now, we only have 3 people that have signed up for it. So we are looking for people to join with that. And I'll also ask, I know that they're writing tickets everywhere.
Right.
We've put up, and I mean, unfortunately, when you get to that point, we have to do something different. And, just
Right.
obviously writing tickets isn't working. So,
I got Izzy who comes
Yeah.
and spends days with me. She's 6 years old.
Yeah.
And she's learning how to ride her training wheel bike up and down the
Absolutely.
sidewalk. My biggest fear is someone's gonna lose control.
yeah.
And if something happens to that little girl,
I,
might
I'm
as well
with you.
put me in a
I-
loony bin.
I have 6 grandchildren who play in front of my house across the street from Bremen High School.
Right.
I feel your pain, Jean, truly.
So
Deputy Chief, you have any?
Any particular time, Gene?
this Saturday, it was probably about 3 o'clock. And, today wasn't bad. I was out there when Mike was doing weeds and stuff. It wasn't too bad, but Sunday was bad. And Saturday, it's like on the weekends. And then we have one car, it's a black car. It turns at 151st, and it is the loudest car I have ever heard. And he just guns it. After he turns, he guns it, and I seen him go through the red light because I can look down and see. So someone's gonna get hurt, and we have kids going to Bremen, walking by the house every day. Right now it's not too bad because school's out, but we do have those sports camps going on, so they're walking past there. So Don's gonna do my beautification stuff for me tonight.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Public comment? Yes, sir.
I just want to thank everybody who came out Saturday. We had a very good turnout. It seemed like it took forever, though. We had a lot more people than we had 2 years ago. Me, you, and Sarah were out there last year, but, so thank you to everybody, and again, thank you to the board for allowing the residents and citizens of Midlothian to have a community garden, and we will probably have a very large crop this year, so I hope everybody likes tomatoes and onions and zucchini and cucumber and strawberry, all the stuff we're growing. So, also, I wanted to note last week's meeting, I am very proud that one of my trustees and my mayor spoke up against what's wrong with certain things going on with municipal funds. So, rewatching that, and I actually edited both of your little speeches about it, and I'm very proud to hear you guys be verbal against that. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Nothing, Mike? Nothing to say tonight, Mike? No? No. Anyone else? All right, then I will close the floor to public comment and move on to tonight's consent agenda. Number 1, approval to execute the GovTemp USA LLC contract for the economic development consultant. Number 2, approval to execute IDOT MFT Rebuild Illinois resolutions and design construction engineering agreements for the village's 2023 street resurfacing program. Okay. Number 3, approval to advertise for the request for qualifications of the architectural firms to assist in the building of the new public works facility. Number 4, approval to purchase a 2020 Ford Transit 250 for Bill K4 for $45,895. Number 5, approval of ordinance 2124, creating a water certification of payment fee. And number 6, approval of the list of bills or any item any trustee would like off of tonight's consent agenda.
Number 1, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? All right, then I'm looking for a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda without item 1, which is the GovTemp USA contract.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please, clerk.
Trustee Kami?
Aye.
Trustee Johnson?
Aye.
Trustee Burbatt?
Aye.
Trustee Crowley?
Aye.
Trustee Killily?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, so I asked trustee Crowley to take number 1 off because I was informed by Attorney Valdez that he had gotten some concessions from GovTemp USA after it got on the agenda that are in favor of the village. So, you want to?
Yes, there were just a few items that needed to be changed. One of them was with regard to the employee, temporary employee, being an employee of the village that is on lease, and that status, he or she would normally be subject to all of the workplace conditions that a village employee would be. However, in the contract, it provided that only GovTemps could remove said employee. Based upon the assurances that this was an in-house kind of protection to them to be able to manage their employees and to be able to offer them benefits and jobs, and that GovTemps would be the one who would ultimately decide whether they were terminated or not. Based upon that assurance and my discussion with the mayor, I am confident that in the event that an employee doesn't work out, that the mayor and the normal personnel process within the village would be sufficient for them to remove that person. So based upon that, we put that back in there. In addition to that, there was a provision for arbitration. The arbitration process that was provided by GovTemps, if ever utilized, would probably cost the village more money to go through than the entire contract for that employee. And given that it is never a good thing for municipalities to cede control of contracts or cede control of anything for that matter that it does to mandatory arbitration, that was removed. With that said, I think the trustees had the ability to take a look at those other minor little items that were on there that were switched over. Things like providing notice to the village clerk, providing notice by email in addition to the mail. The version that was given to us only had mail through the post office within 3 days. After 3 days, it became effective. Well, all of you in this room know that sometimes mail in Midlothian takes a little longer than 3 days. And so we had to change that to provide for both email notice and a 5-day window before it would become effective. So other than that,
Can we approve it tonight with those changes?
I'm going to ask you to give me the approval to execute
Yeah.
it when I receive the clean copy from.
Yeah, so the change that would be, presuming GovTemps, since we are agreeing to everything that they had, or agreeing to everything that I proposed, other than those things that we agreed to, authorizing the mayor to sign it is all we need to do tonight.
Okay, I have a question. Based on what you said in the beginning of your discussion, attorney, my understanding was we were hiring this person as a consultant. This person is not an employee of the village. The way I read the contract, the employee is employed by GovTemps.
Correct.
And we're paying GovTemps, we're not paying the employee. So you
Correct.
had made a comment that the employee is entitled to benefits with the village?
No,
He
no.
should not be entitled to any
He's
benefits.
entitled to benefits if GovTemps gives him benefits under the GovTemps contract with them, not with us.
Okay, so no.
No, as a matter of fact, there were provisions in the contract that said Exhibit B grants these benefits to the
It said
employee,
none. It said none.
and there were none. So if
Right.
there are none, there's no need for an Exhibit B, and so we removed it.
Any other discussion? At this time, I'm looking for a motion to, the authority from the board to execute the revised contract with GovTemps USA for an economic development consultant.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please. Clerk Musk.
Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Burbett.
Aye.
Trustee Cagney.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you all. And this time, I'll move on to trustee business. Trustee Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I have nothing tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. Trustee Burbett.
Thanks, Mayor. Last week, we discussed a supermajority vote for approval of a bathroom project for the fire department. The project is a total amount of $38,184 with manual checks to BK Woodwork for $12,365 down, $4,915 halfway through, and the remainder paid upon completion. It also includes a manual check to Redline Concrete Coatings for $2,369 down, and the remainder paid upon completion. I'd like to make a motion that we approve that.
I'll second.
This motion has to be unanimous because we're missing one.
Okay. Just to be clear that we'll have to be unanimous tonight because we are missing one trustee. So, is there any discussion? Roll call, please, Clerk Musk.
Trustee Burbett.
Aye.
Trustee Cagney.
Aye.
Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Attorney, do we call the mayor's vote?
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Mayor LaRue.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Anything else, Doug?
That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Trustee Caveney,
Yes, Mayor.
what do you have tonight?
Besides her birthday, sir?
First thing on my agenda is I would like to review and approve the mission statement that was developed by the Economic Development Committee. The mission statement reads as follows. Midlothian's mission is to maintain a friendly business environment in order to promote sustainable economic growth and development. I'd also like the board to consider approving the marketing tagline that the Economic Development Committee came up with. And that tagline is opportunity, accessibility, and diversity.
Nice.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the mission statement and the tagline.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay. Right. Roll call, please.
It's on there for approval.
Okay.
Trustee Cagney.
Aye.
Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Burbett.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Also, there will be no EDC meeting this June. We will resume meeting. Our next meeting will be July 25th. Also, I would like to recognize Superintendent Steve Witt this evening. Superintendent Witt completed his certified floodplain manager training and took the test and passed. So he is now a holder of a CFM certification. So that is a really, really big deal because usually these CFM certifications are usually sought after by civil engineers, and Superintendent Witt is a registered architect and a structural engineer, but he completed this huge accomplishment for which I am very, very proud of him. And so I'm happy to say that our village now has a CFM on staff.
Well done.
You're welcome. Also, last week, and I'll pass this down to you, Mayor, and I'll send the board a copy of the email. The mayor asked me to attend a luncheon last week that was sponsored by the Sandrick Law Firm. They're located here in South Holland, and they are a law firm that primarily works with municipalities and business owners on tax matters. And the purpose of this luncheon was to review with mayors, managers, trustees, village managers, the next triennial assessment that's coming up. And, gave a little bit of history about the reassessments, explained how the prior assessor calculated assessments and how the current assessor changed the calculation and assessments. So no matter what you do, your assessment is still gonna go up. The message that I came away with, unfortunately, is that all of Cook County is to expect a bit of a wallop upside the head on their tax assessment this year. So everybody, I implore everyone, property, all property owners, residential, commercial, industrial, to get out your tax paperwork and be prepared that when Bremen Township opens up for review, that everybody take a look at your tax bill and everybody send in paperwork to the assessor to have it reviewed, because it's gonna be really, really critical. And one of the other big takeaways, and I'll send this to the board, is they gave us a list of the composite rates, the tax rates for all the municipalities. Midlothian's tax rate is 15.032. Posen's is 13.998. Crestwood's is 10.895. So the reason why, and one of the reasons why our tax rate is higher is because we have very small tax base. So for that reason, economic development here in Midlothian is extremely crucial. And so I think the fact that, the board just approved for the village to hire this economic development consultant is going to be of utmost importance to us. So.
I am also meeting with Assessor Kagi next week to discuss just this. So not more than just discuss.
Yeah. Yeah, could you pass that down here? And the notes are kind of hard to read because all the pictures are pretty small, but I have that in email, and I'll share that with everybody. And that's all I have. And thank you very much for the birthday wishes.
Well, obviously, everyone can see it's her birthday, so I think it's time that we do our thing and sing you happy birthday.
Yes.
Right? Don?
Happy
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kathy. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it.
And you're spending it here with us.
Yes, I am.
That's all? All right, then we'll move on to Trustee Kilby.
Thank you, Mayor. Just talking about the garden walk, which is on July 16th from 10 to 4. Tickets you can get at the Village Green. Right now, we have 13 homes that want to show off their garden, and we're probably going to get a couple more. So we're going to have a really good showcase for everybody to look at. We also have a couple vendors at the garden, and I believe that MWRD is going to come by and auction off a couple rain barrels. So
Very nice.
it's going to be good, and we have some really awesome gardens. So put it on your calendar. Come on out. You'll have a good time. Thank you.
Is it?
That's all.
All right, thank you, sir. Trustee Crowley.
Just a couple things tonight, sir. On my agenda, I had sent out an email to the board on a progress report from our grant writing company earlier in the week or last week. I just wanted to make sure everybody got that. Currently, they're waiting for about $150,000 in grants that they've applied for so far between the fire department and police department. And they're also managing the large grant that they got for us to hire 3 new officers. I've asked them to provide that to the mayor and I every 6 months, so this was the first checkup, and then we'll be getting another checkup towards the end of the year with them. The only thing, a couple things I'd like to point out is our grant company did just recently send me information about a grant that just came up. I have sent that to our engineer and to the mayor and talked to Mr. Sperry about it in hopes that, and talked to Don about it in hopes that we may have some projects for that. And in looking at it, one of the things I found today was that Illinois is offering a federal Illinois is offering a grant to cover matches for federal grants. Apparently, they're trying to get more municipalities in Illinois to apply for federal grants, and they're offering a grant that covers the match for those grants. So, Yvonne, I think I sent that to you late this afternoon. If not, it'll go forward after my phone syncs up. But it seems like a pretty good deal. You know, where if we do get some of these federal grants that have 20, 30, 40% match, you can apply to have Illinois cover that match, so it doesn't come out of the village funds. So we have to check more into it. I don't know enough about it, but we're definitely gonna keep that in mind. The other thing, since we're recognizing, I will recognize Deputy Chief Tavermina for completing the very difficult task of going through Northwestern Staff and Command School. It is a leadership program for executive level police management. It's a 10-week course. He graduated on May 26th, and it was a fantastic ceremony. Very, very impressive. So congratulations, Deputy. And you can read all about him in the newsletter. And other than that, I would just like to say, please don't forget, mark your calendar. August 1st is National Night Out on the Village Greens. And August 19th, we are having a Thunderbolts fundraiser for the CPSC committee. And that's all I have this evening, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Well done, Deputy Chief.
Thanks.
All right, we'll move on to department heads. Chief Hotwagner.
I have nothing to say, sir.
Thank you, sir. Deputy Chief Tavermina.
Yeah, just real quick, I just wanted to extend my gratitude to the men and women of the police department for their dedication and service. We've had a lot of unique challenges over the past few weeks, and their performance was just absolutely outstanding again. Thanks to the mayor, board, trustee Crowley especially, and everybody else for your continued support. We truly appreciate it. And of course, thank you to the residents. Every day you're supporting us, and the police officers recognize it, and so do I, so does the chief. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Superintendent Witt.
Nothing tonight, sir.
Thank you, sir. Clerk Clackey. Thank you, ma'am. Superintendent Sperry.
We have a bit of good news with regards to our lead service line replacement IEPA grant. I'm going to let Mr. Paletta announce this since he did a lot of the lead work and him and his staff.
Thank you, Superintendent Sperry. Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, we did get a bit of good news from the IEPA. They released their funding list for this area, and the village is going to be awarded $2.3 million. We're going to be putting together a project to figure out how best to spend that money, and we're going to be aiming for spring of '24 to break ground on that.
That's awesome.
Well done.
Fantastic.
Can't take all the credit, but I will. And that's all.
Anything else from you, Superintendent?
I'm not sure if the board knows this, but we were awarded a $1,064,000 grant to replace the water main at 149th and Pulaski. So that was, we were waiting to make sure that went through. It seemed too good to be true, but it seems like it's a done deal.
Right.
So
That's
it
awesome.
should cover the total cost of that project.
So.
So it's
and we-
it's a grant, it's a grant?
No, it's an
Well-
award from
Award.
Congressman Rush's office, I think.
Correct.
Federal EPA grant.
Okay.
So can we redirect that ARPA fund, those ARPA funds?
Well, it's, yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, you just
I already
wanna
have a
make
plan for them if you don't need them.
yeah, no, I mean, you know, there's talk also, we had a meeting, with the mayor and the building department, the fire department about, restoring the old police station once they move out. So maybe we can use some of the money that was earmarked for that, but we're gonna have to get a consultant in there to look at everything and see what needs, get us a budget, and all that. So probably have to reconfigure a few walls and, cut some of the old infrastructure in there, so there's gonna be some costs involved in there.
We also believe we're going to receive about $112,000 from Representative Davis's
Correct.
group.
So we're working on maybe resurfacing the village property, the village parking lot. Dave is working on drawing up some numbers without the VFW's portion and with it, to see if it makes sense to do it all. That'd be something that we'd have to get some kind of meeting with them. If that's not cost effective, we may have to supplement it with some more money, or we can use that money. We don't know the timeline of
Right.
that money.
Right.
Or we can use that for the police station, we're trying to figure it out. It's just a good thing to have, good problem, there's so much money in so many projects, so we're trying to figure out the best way to spend all this.
How much do we think that new lining, the new sewer lining, or the rest of the sewer lining is gonna cost?
Which sewer
The one
line?
you emailed about today. I don't remember the dollar amount. Was that part of it?
Oh,
What that-
no, that was, Don was asking about in our budget, right, or,
No, the one you sent later.
I didn't say anything, I don't think.
Am I losing my mind? It's possible. I thought we found out today that we had to reline some of those.
No, we have to do some manhole rehab work. We have
Oh.
300,000 budgeted. I put it in there to line sewers, and then I was made aware that we never really finished the first area that we're,
Oh, I got it. Okay.
we have to do, so we're gonna probably just change the name of the project, but it'll be out of the same fund, so it's not gonna. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Harris.
The only thing I have is good old village stickers. I encourage everyone to buy them prior to June 30th to avoid a $10 surcharge. Also, any citations that the PD may have. There are no lines and no waiting currently in the village hall. We're waiting for everyone to come on in. If you feel like you did not receive a renewal, misplaced it, just come on in and we'll take care of you. And that's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Director Redmond.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of things for tonight. I just want to let everybody know that the finance tab on the village's website has been updated. It now includes the fiscal year 24 budget, fiscal year 21 audit, as well as the fiscal 23 IMRF total compensation report. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Attorney Valdez.
Okay.
All good news tonight.
I feel the pressure after all the good news coming in. I don't want to break the streak here. The board was aware that we've been involved in 2.5 years of litigation with the firefighters union regarding the village's selection of a successor health care plan for all the village employees. Under the bargaining agreement between us and the union, we were allowed to make some changes to that plan as long as the plan remained substantially the same. It was our interpretation that the plan was the same, however, the union did not agree. So they have appealed no less than 6 times, saying that we committed an unfair labor practice act by changing the plan without getting their approval. 3 times during the grievance process, 1 time when an arbitrator found in favor of the village, 1 time when the administrative law judge reviewing the arbitrator's decision found in favor of the village. Had the matter, they appealed that decision, and the Illinois Labor Board remanded it back to the administrative law judge to do it again, to give them a full hearing. A full hearing was held a couple of months ago, and pursuant to that, the decision came in the day before yesterday. It was a 39-page decision. I will only read 1 paragraph.
Thank you.
Since I find contrary to the allegations in paragraph 26 of the complaint that the arbitrator's award did not impose an unlawful waiver of the charging party's statutory right to bargain midterm changes over hospitalization and medical insurance coverages, and I also find contrary to paragraph 27 of the complaint the respondent's interpretation of the CBA did not constitute a permissive subject of bargaining, and that therefore the arbitrator's adoption of the interpretation did not violate the act, I conclude the arbitrator award was not palpably wrong as a matter of law, and therefore is not repugnant to the act. The following order is, unless the recommendation, decision, and order is rejected or modified by the Labor Board, the complaint is dismissed. So that is the 6th time now that we have prevailed with regard to this issue. The union does have the right to go to the Illinois Labor Relations Board again now to appeal the administrative law judge's findings in his order. And if they lose there, they can go to the Illinois Appellate Court. But as far as I'm concerned, we have repeatedly been vindicated by the process that we did not commit an unfair labor practice. And in conjunction with the results from the judges, the magistrate, the federal magistrate's decision with regard to Aunt Martha's claim for legal fees, the legal department for the village is on a roll. So I know it's cumbersome, I know it's costly. My approach has always been to avoid costs to the village and to settle matters without going to litigation, because oftentimes that's in the best interest financially of the village, but sometimes you have to fight. And in these two situations, we were forced into it, and so far, we've come out of it okay. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your work. All right, under my business, the first thing I got is the approval. I'm looking for a motion for the approval of the resolution 23-0614-A, approving the execution of the master lease purchase agreement, which was dated June 1st, 2023, between the tax exempt leasing corp, the lessor, and the village of Midlothian, the lessee. This is for Joe's super Vactro,
Sewer jet.
sewer debt.
Sewer jet.
So I'm looking for a motion to approve this resolution.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Can I just ask a question? Did we already sign the master lease agreement? Is this an exhibit that should have been also executed with the lease agreement that was dated
Yes,
June
we didn't
1st?
ha- We didn't have it when it was approved.
Oh, okay, all right.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please, Clerk Musko.
Trustee Crowley.
Aye.
Trustee Johnson.
Aye.
Trustee Burbette.
Aye.
Trustee Caveney.
Aye.
Trustee Killily.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, sir. I wanted to bring up once again the 37th Annual Midlothian Charity Golf Classic, which is coming up Monday, August 14th, 2023 at the historic Midlothian Country Club. Pleased to announce that we have already sold out all of the tee times, all of the golf spots, so that's a fantastic. And then, but we are still looking for sponsors, lunch sponsor, beverage sponsor, whole sponsor, raffle prizes, and swag bags. So there's still time to give to this. All the money goes to the local food pantries, St. Vincent de Paul, Luminaria. So, oh, and I'm sorry, there's no, I don't think there's a limit for dinner. So you can still come for dinner, which would be after golf, which is usually about 6 o'clock. So. And lastly, on behalf of myself and the entire board, we wish the family of Fred Bagagli, former longtime part-time police officer with the Village of Midlothian, who passed away recently, and I know this board will miss him. So we'll miss you, Fred. So I have, Clerk.
I have nothing tonight, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. Then seeing there's no further business coming for the board, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.